In this video I'm going to show you how to use a vintage and retro Photoshop action set. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use these several photos here that I got as examples for a demonstration of the actions. So first thing, when you open up your photo before you use any of the actions, you should just check a couple of things. So just go to the image mode and just make sure your photo is in the RGB color mode 8-bit Canon, and also check the image size here. So for best results, your photo should be somewhere about a 20 to 4500 pixels wide or high. However, your photo should be at least about a 1500 pixels wide or high. Alright, so to log the action, just go to Window and choose the actions here. Just click on this menu icon here and just choose the load actions, and now just choose the action that can be downloaded. Click load, and the action folder will appear here. When you open the folder, you will see all the actions here, right? So as you can see, the actions are arranged in several groups, right? So first, what we got here are the color looks. So you can choose from 45 different color looks, and you also got these action here that will render you all color looks from color look 1 to color look 45, right? And you can also combine a few color looks. I'm going to show you that later, so you can create even more actually. And what we got here are some special color looks, alright, and these one here are available only in Photoshop version CS6 and on, alright. And you can really achieve a lot of different effects using these special color looks here. Here we got the light leaks, so you can choose from 25 different light leaks, and you can also stack them, alright, so you can play several of these actions to get several light leaks. And you also got the action that will render you all light leaks from light leak 1 to light leaks 25, right? And then we got two textures here, alright, we got dirt texture black and dirt texture white. And then we got the adjustments actions here. You can clear, you got the action clear noise here. We got a 3 contrast actions, and the difference between these is in their intensity, right? So as you the second one is more intensive than the first one, and third one is more intensive than the previous one, right? Then you got the vibrance here, and this action is only working in versions CS4 and on, alright. Then you got some actions for lighting. You can boost or fade the lights and shadows, right? And then you got 3 sharpening actions, and the same as with the contrast one, every next here is more intensive than the previous one, right? It will sharpen more details. And then we got 4 bonus actions here. So we got a soft glow, we got a vignette, and this action is only available in CC versions, right? And we got a glitch action and the glitch black and white action. Alright, so what you have to do is to just select the action that you want to click play. Alright, so for example, you want to play this color look here, just click play. Oh, sorry, just I got this set step by step, so just make sure it's set to accelerated. So just select the action that you like and just click play. Alright, if you don't like this color look, simply you can delete the layer, try with another. Alright, until you find the one that goes the best with your photo. And what I like to do is to just play this action here. So as it's sometimes just easier to me that I have all color looks here, and then I can just turn on the one that I want to try out. Alright, I'm just gonna see right now. Alright, the action is just finished. So when you open the folder, to quickly close down all these folders, just hold Control and Alt buttons for PC or Command Option for Mac, and just click on this little arrow here. Alright, so you got all the folders closed. And now it's usually easier to try out the color look. So all you have to do is to select the one that you want to try out, turn it on. If you don't like it, simply try it with another. And how can you combine them is, for example, turn on this one, lower the opacity, then turn on another one, then play with the opacity. You can combine even a few, more than 2 color looks, right? So just gonna choose this one here in this example. All right, and before you play another action now, you should close the folder here. You don't have to, but if you leave the folder open, other action will be put inside this folder, right? So just close it like this, and just gonna add some light leaks. So just gonna select this one here, click play. All right, and when you select the layer tumble, you can just, using a move tool, you can click and drag, right? So you can move the light leaks anywhere you want. So just gonna leave it here, move it here at the top to create some kind of a light source, right? Just like this. And you can see this line here. You can just correct this by, if that appears, just select this layer mask here. Press B on your keyboard to select the brush tool. Right click anywhere inside the canvas. Just gonna choose the soft brush, and you can change the size of the brush using the square brackets on your keyboard. Just set here foreground color to black, and just brush like this. All right, that's it. So now just gonna add some texture. I'm gonna add this one here. All right, just gonna lower the opacity a little bit. So you can always play with the opacities of all these layers here, right? Same as the color looks. So now just gonna play some of the adjustments action. Alright, so just gonna play the, select the top action, top layer here, and just gonna play the clear noise. Alright, and what you can do now, you can double click on the reduce noise here and make any additional changes if you want here. I'm just gonna keep the default this time, but I'm going to do, I'm just gonna lower the opacity, right? So if you just click on the word opacity, drag it to the side, you can see the difference, right? Just gonna slightly lower it, and say something like this. All right, and you also got the layer mask here. So if you wish to remove this layer anywhere, you can just brush black, or it's the same with the texture. So just brush black where you wish to remove it. Into this layer mask, you'll remove the texture in that place. All right. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of contrast. Just gonna lower the opacity to add some subtle contrasting. All right, and I'm just gonna add vibrance. You can just double click here and change the values of the vibrance and saturation for achieving a lot of different results. I'm just gonna use default settings this time. And finally, just going to add a little bit of sharpening. So just gonna select the sharpening 1 layer. Okay, and just gonna leave these default opacity. So let's just quickly check the before and after. So from this we created this. All right, now let's just select the next example. So I'm also going to render all core looks here. The action will render them pretty fast. Alright, that's it. Just gonna close the folders again, so just hold Ctrl Alt for PC, Command Option for Mac to close down all the folders. And this example, just gonna use this one here. I'm gonna close the folder and just gonna clear the noise. Alright, just gonna, and you can see this layer will make a lot of difference. Alright, so just gonna lower its opacity a little bit to just clear the noise slightly like this. Okay, and just gonna add contrast. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just gonna play some of these lightning actions. Alright, so I'm just gonna fade the shadows a little bit. Alright, and just gonna add some sharpening. Alright, just gonna select this one here. Alright, and let's just quickly check the before and after. Alright, let's go to the next example. So here I'm just gonna try some special color look. Alright, just gonna play this one here. Alright, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of contrast now. You can change the opacity by clicking the word opacity, dragging it aside, or you can just click on this little arrow here and then just move this pointer over here. And just a little bit of the vibrance. And finally just gonna add some sharpening. Just gonna lower its opacity a little bit. Alright, let's check the before and after here as well. So this is the before, and in just a few seconds we got this effect. Alright, here's our next example. So here I'm not going to use a color looks because I'm just going to use some glitch actions, and just going to play the clear noise, and just going to double click here and just going to drag these to about 50% to preserve more details in the photo. Alright, just going to click OK, and I'm going to boost the lights a little bit like this, maybe a little bit more. Alright, and what you can do now, if this is too if you wish to boost more lighting, but when you add another layer, when you play the action another time, this is you got too much lighting, too much intensive lighting, then just lower the opacity of this second layer, something like this. Alright, and I'm just gonna play the glitch action. Alright, let's quickly check before and after. This is the before, here is after effect. Here's our next example, and here just gonna use these, gonna render the all color looks again. Alright, let's just close the folders, and in this example I'm going to combine a few color looks. So just going to use this one here, and I'm going to use this one here. And what I'm going to do now is just going to select, using the Control for PC or Command for Mac, these two layers and these two groups, and just lower the opacity of the both folders, something like this. Right, and not just gonna close the folders, and just gonna clear the noise a little bit. Just gonna double click here, and just gonna preserve more details. Alright, and just gonna reduce the color, reduce color noise a little bit. Alright, and maybe sharpen the details, something like this. Alright, and now just gonna add only a little bit of the contrast, so just gonna lower the opacity, something like this. Gonna add a little bit of the vibrance, and just gonna boost the lights here. Alright, and finally just gonna add the sharpening. I'm going to use the sharpening tool here. Alright, and let me just show you the differences. Just gonna hide this layer here so you can see the differences between these three sharpening layers. Alright, So this is sharpening 1, sharpening 2, sharpening 3. You can see the difference as every next is very much intensive, and it will sharpen much more details, right? This example I'm just going to use sharpening 2, and I'm going to leave the opacity as default. So the before and after. Here's the before, here's the after. All right. And our last example. So here just gonna render the all core looks again. All right. So I'm gonna close all the folders and gonna choose this one here. So just gonna close the folder and gonna clear the noise. Alright, so just gonna double click here to change the settings a little bit. So in this app I'm just gonna preserve more details as well, and just gonna lower the reduce color noise and gonna sharpen details a little bit more, right? The next thing I'm going to do, I'm just gonna fade the shadows and gonna fade the lights as well. Okay, and just gonna add some sharpening. I'm gonna use sharpening 3 in this example, and let me just show you some of these actions that I haven't used. So here we got a soft glow. Just gonna click play. Alright, so it will remove these faded effect. If you just hide these two layers, I'm just gonna play it again. Alright, so you can see it will add a little bit of the contrast. It will boost the shadows and the lights a little bit. And you got a Gaussian blur here, so when you just double click there, you can change these value here for achieving different results. Alright, and here we got a glitch black and white, so just gonna play that action as well to show you. Alright, and when you open the folder, you got a cyan channel, you got a red channel, and you also got a layer mask here, so you can remove any part of the effect if you want. Alright, by brushing with black into the layer mask, and whichever action you play, you get you got full control over that effect. Alright, all layers are customizable, so you got a fade lights here. When you double click here, you can change the amount. Let me just delete this layer. Alright, so you can change the amount of how of the fading of the light, right? So you can fade more or less depending on this. But what you can also do, you don't even have to play with these settings with any of these layers. What you can just do is play with the opacity, right? So if you wish to fade the lights less, then you lower the opacity. If you wish to fade even more, and your opacity is set to 100, then you just play the fade lights action again, right? Like this. So you don't have to get into the settings here, but you can if you want, right? And finally, what I'm going to add to this effect is the vignette effect, and so just gonna click play. All right, and you can double click here into the camera raw filter. You can make any other changes here, but for changing the vignette effect, you just go to the here the FX effects, right? And you can just change here the look of your vignette effect, right? just like this. Okay, just gonna use default settings, and let's just quickly check the before and after. So this is the before, and this is the after. All right, and I just got just forgot I got one more example here. So this example here, just gonna play the clear noise first. Just gonna double click here. Just gonna change the lower the strength, right, of the reduce noise, and gonna preserve more details a little bit, and just gonna lower this something like this, right? And I'm just gonna add a little bit of the contrast, the vibrance, right? So as I said, all the layers are fully editable and customizable, so you can double click here, you can change the amount of the vibrance and saturation. But again, you don't have to get it in the settings. You could just, if you wish less vibrance and saturation, just lower the opacity. If you wish more, you can just play this action again. Alright, and just gonna boost the lights a little bit. And I'm gonna fade the shadows. And just gonna play the glitch action black and white. Alright, and finally just gonna add some sharpening. So just gonna use sharpening 2. Alright, I'm just gonna change the opacity a little bit, something like this. And let's just check the before and after. So this is the before, and here is the after. Okay, so I hope you understood everything, and thanks for watching.